how you can use your genius. All right, how you can use your genius during these troubling times, during these times you can keep your center, your focus. We're going to talk all about that. I think that that makes the genius really unique in that I don't think there's too many other quantum biofeedback software or technologies that can do this. Let's see if that, all right, fantastic. Okay, I still hear nothing. We'll join you on YouTube. Okay, let me know, just give me a quick check on the sound, everybody. Just let me know if you are actually able to hear me. So if you can hear me, please just give me a yes, we can still hear you. That way I'll know. Jerry's going to join us on YouTube. I certainly understand why. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the heads up. Okay, Julie, thank you. Pat, really appreciate it. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me. I really appreciate it. And some of the events that you guys are talking about here, wildfires in Spokane, you're absolutely correct. We're even getting smoke here in Portland. Mercury retrograde is early. Gosh, does it feel like that or not? I mean, it kind of does. In area we need some rain to break the super high heat. My trees are being stressed. And fires in Yellowknife, Canada, and Kelowna, Canada. Hurricane cyclone in Nevada. Oh my gosh. It's really a lot going on out there. Okay, no matter where you are and no matter what's going on, you can utilize your genius in order to send frequencies for global impact. And I remember when we had severe hurricanes in Florida, I remember we were all working collectively together. And as we were working collectively together, we heard about a shift in the energy that the hurricane was moving in a different direction, not going to make landfall where they thought, moving out into the ocean. So I do believe that frequency makes a difference. And, you know, if you think about the current theories about why we might be experiencing this, this might be due to some detrimental frequencies. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. We can certainly have a separate class on that at some time, but I think you guys know if those are created by frequency, then in the law of sort of matching energy, we have to be able to utilize similar technology. In other words, I believe that we have access to this genius technology for a reason, so that we can help ourselves and help others during this challenging time. So I don't think there are too many other quantum biofeedback technologies like the Genius where it has such a dynamic use case where you can even put the weather. So what you would be doing is you'd be putting in exactly where you want to work as the client. So if you want to work in Spokane, you would put Spokane, and you could take a picture from the news feed of the fire. So if you're working in Southern California, you could take a picture of the hurricane or the tropical storm. If you're working in, now we have something going on in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic around, I think there's a storm called Franklin. So you can take a picture of that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do that together. And I'm going to say this again during the lecture, but remember, as above, so below. If you reach into every spiritual tradition that I think ultimately reflects the truth, everything you see in your environment, and this is the most peaceful way I think to live in the world, is to understand that everything that we see on the outside is something that is existing within us. And when we turn our focus within and try to work on ourselves and find the peace within ourselves, find the emotional clearing within ourselves, I believe it has impact beyond measure. And so when we're testing a weather event, we can also look at that emotion or that issue that's coming up as showing us something about ourselves collectively, and also something that we could still be clearing within ourselves. And if you've never heard of this before, it's similar to the tradition of Ho'oponopono, where they also say to every single person that's suffering that there's some part of you that is also reflected within me. So that's why I say thank you. That's why I say I am so sorry. You know, please forgive me, whatever, you know, I've done to contribute to part of this. And I think this is a wonderful way to approach these events, because it's easy to feel helpless. It's easy to feel like a victim It's easy to feel like we're under assault, and we don't want to give away our power in such a way. Everything that happens on the outside is somehow reflected on the inside. When I clear that energy from within me, and I can do it with my genius and with my intention, then that event will disappear. It will no longer be occurring. So I want you to hold on to that energy, maybe do a personal contemplation about how that resonates with you, and think about that as we do our genius work. And what is the genius showing about the collective group consciousness? Is there, liver energy going there? Is there some type of anger? Is there a resentment? What is it that's, really causing these imbalances? Because they're manifestations in the physical world of extreme imbalance. What is that imbalance? Is there anything that we can do to soothe that imbalance, to help it? And as we clear for others, we also clear for ourselves. As we clear globally, we also clear something within ourselves. So we're going to go through that and talk about that today. Now, a little bit just about the basics of the genius in case you're here for the first time. The genius is a quantum biofeedback technology. And the goal of the technology is to find balance, to find harmony in anything that you're working on. It works through voice analysis, but it also has a tremendous ability to work through intention. When we're working with an individual, it interprets the voice as frequency. We could even do it as a group. And then the frequency, whatever we analyze, whether it be a picture or whether it be a voice, is then compared to other frequencies within the program. And so it shows the relationship between what is being tested and then these frequencies that are already pre-programmed. Where there's a relationship, it is reflected in red and blue. In other words, there's an imbalance that is being discovered or uncovered, and then we seek to correct the imbalance by feeding back the same frequency to the person, to the land, to the fire, to whatever the issue is. And we've been shown over time that there's an incredible ability for the genius to help people with those imbalances. Now, if you read my most recent email newsletter that went out last night, if you didn't receive it, please send me your email, ariel@geniusbiofeedback.com. We've also posted it in our Genius Community Network, which you can join for free. We've posted on Facebook, and it has an incredible graph that shows a 50% reduction in sleep symptoms over the 6 weeks that we've been doing our research projects. We had a bar graph, and it just shows the bar graph of reported symptoms coming down steadily. What is the interpretation? People are sleeping much better. The one common denominator, they're running the genius for just 15 minutes per day. We have 2 weeks left in our research study, and then we're going to do a big webinar all about the study, all about the results, what people experienced, and of course, we're going to give away some prizes during that time. So now the genius gives us a score between 0 and 777, and the scores that are indicated through reds and blues below 200 or above 600 show us where the issues are that need to be cleared. The most specific communication of reds and blues is that they are frequencies that need to be harmonized. They are frequencies that should be placed in your tray. That's the best and most pure interpretation, although you can imbue other meanings from the reds and the blues as you get better at this. Now, we are having an in-person training at the end of October. I want to personally invite you to that. There's still a great savings on that. If you go to geniusbiofeedback.com and just put in the word success, then you will be able to see our weekend and you can join. We have a monthly way to join for just $99 down, or you can just take care of it in one installment. We really want to see you because it's hands-on, you guys. You're going to be doing sessions all weekend long. And as you do the sessions with myself and other people with you, you're going to gain new confidence. We're going to do some things that have never been done before in sessions. We're going to have a great time. We're going to work on each other so you get worked on the whole weekend. So you leave the weekend feeling uplifted and enlivened and better than ever. We're going to work with quantum capsules. We're going to work with remedy plates. We're going to work with water. We're going to get to experience, what happens when we do this, what happens when we do that, and we'll talk about it. It is going to be a fun weekend. And by the end of October, it's going to be rainy and cold in a lot of different places of the country. So please join me in the Scottsdale area in Arizona for a wonderful weekend. I think you'll really enjoy it. And I really hope to meet you at that Scottsdale weekend at the end of October. Okay, let's keep going here. All right, so our research study, we kind of talked about that, but we're even seeing up to 50% reduction by the end of the 6th week. So thank you to everybody who's doing the research project. I know many of you have told me that you work on other people most of the time, and this has been a great opportunity for you to work on yourself on a regular basis, and you're really starting to see those results that you often hear about in your clients. So my sincere thanks for all the effort that you've made to do this study. Also, we have a new club, and this club just came to my attention is really needed because a lot of people write often and say, how do I solve issues with cystic fibrosis? How do I solve issues with multiple sclerosis? How do I solve issues with muscular dystrophy or any kind of condition or issue that your clients are dealing with? And what I realized is there's really a need for us to really go into deeper education about how to accomplish things with frequency. So this membership will allow you to ask for one process per month, and we will share everybody's process with the whole group. So I will write, if you request, I need help with this condition, I will write the how-to process step by step for you, and then I will share that process with everybody else in the group. Once a month, we will meet for a marathon session, 2 hours or more, and I will teach you how to solve cases. So again, there's just really a need for this that I saw in the community. And if you're a practitioner, you're going to want to be a part of this specifically to build your skills with solving cases. And I want to give you all of that information in this membership. So we did write about it. We have it on the blog, and I know that there's a link somewhere that I will find in just a moment. So you can join and be part of it, and then you can get all of the processes that we've ever done before when you join the membership, which is a great advantage. And then it's really cool because other people are coming up with really cool processes as well for you to be a part of. Just bear with me while I sort of skedaddle over here and get the link for you. The link is actually on our blog at geniusbiofeedback.com. And then we're going to get right into our weather. So be sure to think of exactly what weather issue you want us to talk about today. And we will be helping you with that in just one moment. Because the system we had to shut down before. I don't have everything that I need, but I will have it in just 1 minute. So if you want to chat or write about the weather, if you want to tell us you're in a certain area that's being affected by the weather, we'd love to hear from you. Also, remember to go to our blog at geniusbiofeedback.com. We have some information about weather harmonizing there, and we also have information about case solving. So I'm just going to put this into the chat. And again, what do you want us to work on today? What do you want us to solve for you? Please let me know. And global warming, it's interesting. There's a really good video from the Corbett report about the connection between big oil and climate change. And did you know, I don't know, I'm going to have to say this in a very measured way because we're live streaming, but have you ever wondered or thought, do you guys know well, I think I better let you watch that video, but it's very interesting I really hope I can find this video for you, but if you look on Rumble, look up the Corbett report, so Corbett and the connection between big oil and climate change. It is the most amazing video on Rumble, you guys. Just put into the search Corbett. That's the guy who does the Corbett report. He's absolutely amazing. And he also did a really great documentary that's completely free to watch about the evolution of the early part. It has to do with Rockefeller, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So Rockefeller, big oil, and climate change. And what I love is education. And this is a class, this is a documentary all educating you about the evolution and the shenanigans and the propaganda behind all of this. And if you know the origin, if you know the history, then you're golden. And I'll see if I can find the link and share it with everyone on our blog and also in the next newsletter, because it is an amazing, if somebody finds the video on Rumble, then you can post it into the chat. And again, it's the Corbett report, the connection between big oil and the evolution of the climate change movement. It's a good one worth looking for. Okay, now I want to talk to you about weather harmonizing. Now, many people are new, we've been doing this for 10 years and we've been working as we've worked through the Quantum Biofeedback mobile application. First, it was called the Infinity, then evolved to the Genius. And many of you who've been here for many, many years know that we've worked on weather harmonizing all along the way. And it was something that was very natural, and we've been dealing with all of these weather changes along the way. And so your genius is a natural ally for you to feel like you can do something when things like this occur. And I really and sincerely believe that anything that you do to send intention and to create balance with your genius is making a difference. I think that if we look over the past 20 or 30 years, for those of you who can remember, you just look at California and you think, gosh, how come there hasn't been a big earthquake? It's always been talked about in California. How come that hasn't happened? I truly believe it is people like yourself, the healers of this earth, who have been praying, meditating, chanting, sending their intentions over the years, that has kept everything calm, that has for the most part sort of kept everything in place, intact, kept people safe in many, many different ways. And I believe we're taking the baton with our genius. We're saying, okay, now it's our turn. We're going to do part of this work of harmonizing with our intentions, with our prayers, with our frequencies. We're going to be part of, mitigating these, making them less, helping them to be harmonized, moving them away from, when we can, Lahaina, okay, but maybe we can do something after Lahaina to sort of make sure it never happens again, or whatever we can do. The best we can do is the best we can do. But I think the important thing is that you can feel like you can do something. And so we'll talk about the process of how you do that. Basically, we're going to be broadcasting out. We're taking our genius. Our genius is constantly connected to the Schumann resonance. That's an energy that always plays in the background. So it's always connected to the genius. There are other kind of secret codes on the genius that make it possible to broadcast out to the person it's intended for, the group it's intended for, the land or the situation that it's intended for. So today we're going to run those genius frequencies, and we can broadcast them out to that area and test for things like, so think about the storm itself. It has an energy, right? So let's just say it's the tropical storm off of the coast of California, or it's a hurricane, or it's a wildfire. Everything is consciousness. Everything has energy. So it's interesting that they even take a storm and name it. That implies it has a very specific energy. It maybe has a personality. And I believe that these storms are carrying lessons and messages. If we could just tap into what is it trying to say? What is it trying to teach to us? The first thing it's trying to teach to us is something is hecka out of balance. Something is not in balance, because when things are in balance, then the rain falls when it's supposed to, the food grows where it's supposed to, all people are fed, and there's harmony in the world. When there's just spontaneous fires and crazy rains and torrential downpours, something is out of balance. As above, so below. As outside, so inside of us, what is out of balance within us? It's a tremendous responsibility and maturity that we take on to say, gosh, maybe I'm a part of this. And so whatever is within me that is contributing to this, I would like to clear, I would like to release, I would like to be harmonized. And maybe it's just one molecule of release, or one little emotion that gets cleared that's no longer charged within you, that contributes to the resolution of this issue. So when we think that way, we are able to feel a lot more agency, a lot more empowered, actually a lot more calm in this world, because we don't feel like the world is 100% out of our control. And that is really, really important. So we're going to create the particular storm or event as a client, and then we can put in the day that we know that it started. The day isn't that important. The gender isn't that important. You just choose those. You take a picture of what you can find on the news about that particular event. There are different ways you can do it. With Lahaina, you could take a picture of what you want it to be restored to. So that's another way to do it. That's already done. That fire is complete at this point, as far as we know. So maybe you want to just take that opportunity to send abundance, prosperity, healing, freedom from pain, all of those things to the land and to the people. So that might be one way, one direction you go for that. For a storm that's currently going and you want to do something to mitigate it, to make it less, so then you would be analyzing maybe a picture of the actual storm, because that's what you want to work on. So your intention is really what gives this life, so be clear about your intention, and your intention working in partnership with the genius. And if you have friends, you can go on our Genius Biofeedback Connect. You can go on our Facebook groups and ask other people, get a small group of people together to work together. And the more people that work on this issue together, the more exponential the effect is. So we're going to test for things like emotions, flower essences, meridians, solfeggios. And as we learn and look at what those emotions are, those flower essence are, we'll learn a lot about the lesson, what we're trying to learn as a mass consciousness about this particular issue. Okay, you can also use specific libraries. We have weather harmonizing libraries. You can create your own as well. We'll talk about some of the skill sets to do that. And yeah, learn about group consciousness that may be creating our current situation. And we're really all connected. It's true that other forces may be at work. It's very, we all know what's happening behind the scenes. Everybody who's on here probably knows or has an intuition that, hey, maybe forces that aren't so good are also sort of affecting this. And so that is one part of it. But universal law does state that we cannot see anything on the outside that does not also exist on the inside. Every religion, every spiritual path talks about some thread of this. So what are the elements? Is a great opportunity for say, what are the elements within ourselves that still need to be balanced? What are the emotions that come up that may be affecting us at this time that we can also clear as a group consciousness? So keep that in mind. Think about it. You're going to have the great good fortune of doing a massive clearing within yourself. So think about that, because it's just really important to turn the camera off while I grab the success cards. It's just really important to keep some sense of empowerment during this time. We don't want to give all of our power away. And when we say this is being done to us without any ability of us to respond or change, then we give that power away. And we certainly don't want to do that. So the Genius is a really fun instrument and technology where you can take that power back. You can, no matter what the issue is, you can always feel like there's something that you can do to evoke, to create a change. And that's something that's really exciting. So for example, with Lahaina, what we could do is we could put Lahaina into, so this is before everything that happened, and we could use this picture as a focal point where our intention is to bring restoration, to bring freedom from pain, to bring healing, to bring prosperity. So that would be one direction that we could take with our balancing. So after the event has occurred, okay, if we know something is coming, we could take a picture of this. We could go and we could get a weather report. So go to like the Weather Channel and see what pictures you can get of where the storm is, just a torrential downpour, or it's showing the weather tracking of the storm. So you could take a picture of that. There's things going on in the Dominican Republic with Franklin, I guess tropical storm or Hurricane Franklin. So we're getting reports of Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. So you could go work on that. Wow, you can spend the whole day working on these weather events. Very exciting. So let's see, what is the weather event? Perhaps we should work on that tropical storm in Southern California to begin with. Let's see what some of your other ideas or thoughts are here. Okay, can our intention be that the black hats have failed with their attacks? So Janet, that's very clever, and I really like that. So yes, you could definitely do that. That's a great, is an awesome intention. So what you could do is you could think about what you want the outcome to be. So if you want it to be peace and prosperity, if you're working on the whole earth, you could take a picture of the whole earth and put that there. And let's see what some of your other comments are. I have a photo of Shuswap. I'm using it for all of British Columbia. The intention is rain. Okay, and let's see if we have anything else. Can be used to mitigate from the smart meters and mosquito spraying. Yes, absolutely. Just think, you want to begin with the end in mind. So just think about what your outcome is. My outcome is the bees are flourishing. You could do an entire, healing on just the bees. And the bees are resilient, the bees are multiplying, the bees find ways to survive, all of those things. So those could be things that you could do as well. All right, so hurricanes, please work on hurricanes. Will this be recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. I usually use, oh, Sophie, hey, it's so good to have you. I usually use the chemtrails libraries, and that works very well. I know that's something that you've had in your area on a consistent basis. So that's good to know. Let's see if we can find out what's happening for those of you who are joining us from Southern California, what's happening in your area. So I think it's still a tropical storm. I'm just going to take a little glance here. See what's happening with that. Okay, it's a tropical cyclone, post-tropical cyclone. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's that big of a deal right now. What does everybody think is the biggest issue that's going on at this moment? You can let me know in the chat. And it says Hillary drenches Southern California. A one-time Category 4 hurricane was downgraded all the way to a subtropical cyclone, but the National Hurricane Center warned it could still ... So there's still things going on with it. The fires in British Columbia, the fires in BC. We do have such an amazing British Columbia Canadian contingent. So let's find out. So the first thing you'd want to do is you'd want to find out what's going on with them. So fires in British Columbia. So let's find out. Oh, I didn't spell that very right. Very, very well. We'll do that. Okay. So yeah, this looks pretty bad. So let's find out. Whew. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Canada to deploy, wish the video would not play. Okay. See if we can do this. Okay, Canada is sending the military to tackle fast-spreading wildfires in British Columbia. British Columbia, BC, declared a state of emergency and imposed a ban on non-essential travel. In some cities in BC, the air quality index is 350. That's what we had in Portland a couple of years back. Let's just see if we can get some images. British Columbia wildfires. So central, let's just see if we can get see where they are first. Oh my goodness. Well, that is a pressing issue. They're just everywhere. Mesalinka, Big Creek, Gotcho, Townsend. And let's try to, we'll just, for those in the United States, we'll just sort of zoom out just so we can see what's sort of the perspective of it. We do have wildfires in Oregon and Washington too. So fire. And so you start to think, what is the imbalance with fire? What's going on with fire? Why don't we have, why do we not have enough moisture? What is contributing to that? What is causing, fire in these areas? So let's call them the Central British Columbia wildfires. So what we'll do is we'll bring the Genius up and we'll just go right from the beginning and we'll see what we can see. So pick your natural disaster. There's lots to choose from, and then that's what you enter the event into your Genius as the client. Now you can work with us as we're going through this, so you could work alongside, and we could all be sending this energy together. And over the years, we've created some wildfire libraries. We could add to them, embellish on them. Now, basically, it comes down to your intention. You're creating this through archetype and coding. What ultimately do you want to see happen? So let's go ahead and share the screen here with, oops, just move this over. There we go. And so we have it called the Central British Columbia wildfires. Okay. So we're going to get that entered in there so we know where we're starting, our starting point. Date of birth, that would be when they started. So I'm going to assume they started probably sometime before today. So let's just take the 20th, and we know, on or about when they came into consciousness. That's what we're working on. So go ahead and August 20th, yesterday, 2023. I'm sure that they were in process before then. Male, female, does not matter, just completely your call. All right, then we continue to the analysis. We can put our intention in here if we want to. Let's see. End all wildfires immediately. Okay, and then we're going to go here. So what we can do is we can act as a surrogate, or we can skip. So you could just say, like, it's my intention that my voice carry the energy of the Central British Columbia wildfires, AEIOU, AEIOU, AEIOU. I tend to just use the picture. I don't want my energy to sort of be picked up, but some people feel that they can clear their energy and just act as the pure surrogate. So this is a personal, either one will work. You can, if your intention is really clear, it'll definitely work. I'm going to just use a picture. So I think for this picture, we want an actual, see if we can get more of an image. No, it's not letting me do it from here, of course. Central. Okay, so what we want is then see if we can get an image. So any of these will really work. They look absolutely awful. And so you just want to get an image, because an image is going to be a holographic energetic opening into all of the fires. So it's holographic. So one image where it's a representation of all of the fires will work. So just pick your image and just go with it. So we're going to take the picture of this image here. And that's the one we're going to work with. Oh, that's from 2018. 2018, the worst fire on record. We don't want that one. So let's go back here and let's go here. Oops. Give me 1 second. Okay, all of that video and everything going on, and so it crashed the whole thing. So don't worry, guys, I'm going to be right back up and running here. We've got everything rolling. The only thing I don't have, unfortunately, is your comments. I think I'm going to leave another computer open in the future so I can always have all of your awesome comments. So if you had a comment and you're able to just go ahead and copy it and paste it back into the chat so we can see it. And we're going to be up and running again in just one moment. Just got a lot of things that are running in the background that I'm trying to rectify right now. That way we don't have this anymore. All right, so let's get our genius back on here. And okay, so we have our genius. Thank goodness we were right at the beginning. Okay, we don't want that one. Oh, try this again. Don't know. No, there's no lack of not really cooperating here. All right, let's try one more time. Go ahead and put your chat, your thoughts into the chat, please. Things that you were thinking about sharing with us. There's just a little bit of a glitch going on here. We want to get a picture of the fires and get everything coordinated. And go ahead and do that. Okay, we're almost there. We're just, let's see if I can do it this way. It's giving us this, but it's going to be hard to take some other pictures. Let me see if I can change that. Let me see if I can change that. All right, let's just get a picture of the fire. I'm going to do it offline for a moment and we'll be all caught up in just a second. Oh, thanks for telling me to start the recording. Okay, yeah. So can you use an image of what the area you would like to look like or repair back to? Actually, Marlene, that you may have seen that I showed the picture of Lahaina. That's exactly what I mentioned in the lecture. So yes, you can, if you want to use a picture. If the fire is still going, you could really do either one. You could, what we want to do is we want to get the communication from this fire. So that was my angle with doing that. British Columbia wildfires. So, all right. So let's go ahead and look at this. See if we can get one. That is a day ago. Okay, so here's something in Kelowna. Let's see if it allows us to look at it. I knew he's gonna, the New York Times, now it's gonna make us agree to the terms. Just, it's such a shame. Just let us get a picture. All right, so continue with a new analysis. I am gonna go, now I'm gonna take the picture. So let's take the correct picture. So this is the energy of it today. I'm gonna go ahead and get that picture. All right, so obviously it takes a little bit of skill, a little bit of nuance. We're gonna get the genius back up so that we can look at it here in just a moment. And if you wanted to, if you have a picture of the land where there is no fire, you could do it. Maybe it's a 2-session thing. Maybe you want to get the communication about the particular fire, you know, so you can heal the energy. And then you move into part 2, which is where you go back to where the land used to be. And then you do like maybe just do all the solfeggios together at that time. So that's certainly an idea as well. All right, so we're going to bring this up. I'm going to do the analysis. I'm going to bring up the genius in just 1 second here. Okay, so the important thing is that you have the general idea about how to go about this, and you can apply this to any other natural disaster, storm, whatever it might be that you want to apply it to. For some, I am getting a Mercury retrograde a little bit early, guys, because there's a whole bunch of stuff on here that is not cooperating with whatsoever. So first thing I need to know is when I show this screen, can everybody on the webinar see the screen of the genius? Because it's not letting me use the reflector in the usual way that I do. So can everybody, if I'm going to escape for just a second, but can everybody now see this on the screen? So just let me know that we're able to see the genius on the screen. Yes, okay, perfect. Okay, so let's get on with it. So when I do this, when I have the reflector on, usually it allows me to do a split screen, and it's being very naughty, and it's not allowing me to share it. Oh, there we go. Okay, maybe it just took some time. Now it is allowing me to share it in the same way that I did before. So let's see it on the screen. Do the code. Oh, come on. We're almost there. Almost there. Come on. Let's go. And it's broadcasting. There we go. Phew. Okay. There we go. So now what we've done is we've taken a picture of the fires in British Columbia, and we want to, our intention is to work on all the fires in that area. And what it does is it gives us an energetic imprint of those fires in a collective way. And now we can do an aura scan, we can work on them, we can send frequencies to them, we can learn about them, what is the message they're trying to communicate to us. So now we're ready to roll. All right. So that's interesting. You know, what I almost take from that is we're all currently sending all of our heart and healing energy to that area, even within the time that all of us have been talking and working together. That's really interesting that there's so much heart energy and healing energy being sent to that area. There's some beautiful purple intuition. Maybe we're using our intuition to kind of learn about what this fire is all about. And there's this really dark brown energy. So this could be the fire, the heat, the imbalance being reflected in the aura. Let's go ahead and we're going to save the aura. And we can also, I know I'm going to get the request in 2.5 seconds to unhide the avatar. So let's go ahead and do that. And now it's not working. So now the hide avatar, show avatar, it's not removing it. So I'm going to have to find out what's going on with that. Let's try it one more time, but no, it's not removing it. So let's move forward. Okay. What I like to do is first, let's look at the emotions. So these are the emotions that are attributed to the fire. Emotions: contempt, loathing, fear, misery, loneliness in the internet age. That's interesting. Jealousy, angst. So we can attribute this to the fire itself, the group consciousness around the fire. What are the emotions of the people in that area? So there's a lot being shown to us. So let's go ahead. What we'll do for this is first, let's go ahead and put all these emotions up into the quick zap. And we're going to put the blue emotions as well. So we've got grief, embarrassment, sorrow, despair, boredom, disgust, hatred, envy, pity. So these are all woven into the fire, the collective consciousness of the people. And the fire has an energy and a personality itself, right? Which is representing sort of the group energy, the group imbalance. So now we're going to take those and we're going to also put the blue items up into the tray. Now we have all the emotions in the tray. Let's go ahead and put some healing energy with the emotions. So let's go ahead and for this one, let's do our solfeggios. Let's actually bring all of our solfeggios up, all the reds, all the yellow, all the green, all the blue. And then let's go ahead and just select 1 minute and we'll balance for a minute. If you'll give me a minute there. Let's balance for 1 minute and let's shake some things up. I know we always use the default tones. Let's go to frequency, shape, and form. And let's go ahead and activate the sonic signatures. Let's hear what those sound like. It's very haunting, almost, the sonic signature. Let's see if we add in nature sounds. I don't actually hear the nature sounds, so I don't know if they're working. Let's try animal sounds. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening on that frequency, shape, and form. I need to make some notes. The first thing we saw was the aura wouldn't unhide the avatar, number one. Number two, just see what's going on with those other sounds. So let's just stick with the regular sounds and see what that is. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that in for today, that the sonic generator is really interesting. It's like kind of a haunting sound. And it's bringing in those chimes as well. Let's sort of crank it up there. I don't know if you can hear it very well from my, put it here. So what I just want to encourage you today is sort of shake things up a little bit and utilize those other frequency and sound generators when you're running those frequencies. Okay, let's see what you It's very haunting, but it's actually quite powerful. Okay, where do we buy the blank holographic wristbands? Is there a website? Go to geniusbiofeedback.com and put in the word hologram, and you should be able to find them. My aura has a very thick black circle around the body. So she's taken a picture of the fires, and that's Cheryl's interpretation. I can see, but I can't hear anything. Darn, I'll just watch the replay. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, should we be doing this all together at the same time to make more impact? Definitely do it. Yeah, do it while we're running the session right now. So we got a 50% rectification. What we worked on was emotions and solfeggios for the whole group. Now let's go ahead and look at the aura. How has the aura changed? All right. And Justina has a really interesting concept here. Let's see how the aura has changed. And we want to read her comment here as well. And let's see how that aura has been transformed by clearing the emotions. Interesting. Whoa. Let's read Justina's comment here. I used to lead planetary healing groups in Maui near Lahaina. I look at the map of the island of Maui, that she is the shape of a woman. It's amazing. Lahaina is in the third eye for this world. She's telling us many things. That's really amazing. And so let's look at the before and after. Let's see if for some reason the hide aura, now it's working. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's look at the before and after. And let's go ahead and, oh, it's not cooperating there. There we go. Okay. So there's the before and there's the after. Before and after. You know, I love this work, and I love that each and every one of you is sending also your intention. And as you're working on your genius with us and sharing your intention, you're having a tremendous effect. And that is reflected right in that. Look at that. That very, very dark brown part of the aura is completely gone. And this, you know, makes me recognize that that's what we're all working towards. Like, we're all here trying to bring up the vibration of the planet and heal it in a profound way. Like, you know, we think like, okay, we're here, we're working, we've got our kids or grandkids, we're doing this. But, you know, a big part of our calling is, you know, here and now is to bring up the level of vibration on this planet and to clear the things that are deeply troubled, that are deeply in pain, that really need to be, you know, cleared of these energies. So, you know, thank you for being part of this, for being part of this journey. You can see the impact of your work, you know, really clearly right here, just all lightening and brightening, transforming, transmuting, and in the process, really bringing those fires, you know, into a place where they are under control. They do wind down. The fire, you know, fighters are able to get this under control. Like, I really do believe this has a very positive impact. So, you know, good on you guys for doing this work. I love it. All right, let's continue. So the next thing that I like to do is I like to see the flower essences. And in this case, let's go ahead and put our flower essences into the lower tray so that we can work with the progressive insights. So it says impatience. Well, that is about being impatient, right? That literally is about being impatient, wanting a resolution probably. So chicory, olive, wild rose, let's go ahead and place all of these into our lower tray. And let's go ahead and grab the ones that are in blue. And for this one, I'm going to wait to read the interpretation when we get the a new analysis in progressive insights. So let's also take those solfeggio tones and let's go ahead and put them into the lower tray. So we'll take solfeggios because they're very, you know, profoundly healing energies. So let's go ahead and take all those. Another way to have done this is I could have just dragged the solfeggios. I could do it now. I can just take the solfeggio frequency and just drag it into my tray, and that will bring all of the frequencies into the tray. So it's not a function I really agree with, but you could do it. You could also grab all the nogiers. Why don't we do that? And why don't we grab all the sacred geometry? Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to progressive insights, where we do sort of a tighter testing algorithm, which are really the top flower essences, which are the really healing emotional energies. And what do they want to tell us about this group consciousness, about the fire, about the imbalance? So there's some sacred geometry, scleranthus. So scleranthus is usually trying to choose between, not very indecisive, not able to make a decision. Let's go ahead and choose another frequency, shape, and form again before we dive into that. Let's go ahead and go to the archetype encoding. It's a different set of sounds that are generated. Now this one isn't really, probably not going to use this for your clients because they don't really enjoy this. And I don't think we can get another overlay. It's so crackly. I mean, it almost should just be eliminated from here. Let's see if we can get any other sounds with this. It's really bad. However, let's go ahead and let's try it anyway. It's only for a minute. Let's go ahead and we'll get that one going in just a moment. So scleranthus, let's use our desk reference success cards and just look a little bit more at scleranthus. Scleranthus is indecision, the feeling that you just can't choose between two different things, and it's just a state of indecisiveness. And that kind of makes sense. Maybe people are in the fire, maybe the fire itself, maybe there's some element about indecisiveness. White chestnut is anxiety. We've seen that before when we've done group testing for like COVID, just group consciousness of anxiety. And wild rose is drifting and resignation, just kind of feeling like I give up, I surrender, I don't know what to do. And maybe there's an element of that in the fire as well. I want to remind everybody that we have a great book. We didn't write it, but you can get it online on Amazon, Kindle, or physical version. A Floral Acupuncture. I really like this book because it connects meridians to flower essences, and it really will help you in your interpretations. So if you go to scleranthus, scleranthus is used as a remedy when you're unable to determine where you stand in relation to the actions you should take. Let me say that again. Scleranthus is a remedy to use at times when you're unable to determine where you stand in relation to actions you should take. Indecision may cause you to consider one option, then its opposite, wavering back and forth. We've all had times like this. Maybe it's people who don't know whether they should leave or whether they should stay. Maybe it's the fire itself not showing if it should advance or retreat. Acting on left and right brain coordination, scleranthus helps you to recognize the geographic location inside yourself that reveals where you stand. This fulcrum of knowing is then mirrored in the outer world through the certainty of your actions. I sometimes find myself in that state and I just say, I am the knower, I am the knower, I am the knower. And I keep repeating it until I sort of settle into a place. When I'm in a place of certainty, then there is no question in my mind. I can sort of feel it in my body. And maybe you know that too. But until I get settled into that place, it can be very unbalancing when you're in between trying to oh, this is so terrible to listen to. Let me just turn it down. I'm just curious with those sounds, what different result we might get. So keep it on very, very super low. So definitely balance with me if you want to. Let's see what some of your other comments are. What is the title of the book again? It's called Floral Acupuncture. It's so interesting. Floral Acupuncture. Right, I got it right. By Deborah Craden. And we haven't brought it up in a while, but we've talked about it in, many, many times. But we haven't, for our new folks who are here, we want to make sure that we remind people about that excellent book. All right. Anxiety came up first. Yeah, anxiety. Where do we get the reference cards? Please go to geniusbiofeedback.com and put in desk reference success cards. The desk reference success cards. Okay, we got a 54% rectification. So let's go back and now let's look at the energy. So this is how, and we may go deeper in. So I wouldn't be surprised now if we go back to the darker colors because we might have gone into more of the muck of the emotions. And then if we do a fourth balancing, we'll probably see that we come up. But anyway, this is how you would work on the fires. Really, they have a personality. They have an energy of their own. So working with meridians, flower essences, emotions, and you're learning about yourself and your connection to the imbalance as well. Okay, all of but 2 planets will be in retrograde. Whoa, oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. Isn't this a fascinating, oh wow, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that the fires actually have that there's a positive change by the end of today or by the end of the week, because that's really incredible. Wow. There's so much vibrancy in there. There's so much healing. You don't feel that heaviness that we saw in the first one. It's got a lot of vibrancy to it. We can hide the avatar and we can look at that one. This just reminds me so much of transformation, of healing and transformation. Got all that purple, so all of our intuition is open. With there's more of just a bright light coming through, so just the clarity of the heart. And then there is this red kind of energy, but it has like this brightness to it. And red is going to be that first chakra. And, it's all about survival. So there's a more of a feeling of being able to survive and thrive through this. So let's look at all of the different auras together, starting with the first one. So that was the first one. Here's the second one, kind of moving, brightening, lightening, getting rid of that kind of brown energy. And then here's the third one. Wow. I mean, that is so interesting. Just the brightness, the vitality, the hopefulness, the optimism of it. That's really, really fascinating. So we can do a bit more. Let's go ahead and get some of your comments. So all but 2 of the planets will be retrograde by the end of this month. That could explain so much. I think it's Jupiter and Mars, the only ones that are not in retrograde. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, okay, so let's use some of the custom libraries. I use mood enhancement and inner bliss and harmony. That's so great. Let's go ahead and look at some of the, we'll go ahead and we'll do a test of the different energies and see what we've got there. So this is for some reason taking a while to analyze. So we could work on rainstorms, we could work on tropical storms, we could work on earthquakes, we could work on fires, so I don't know why this is taking such a long time to analyze, you guys. Does anybody had a slowdown in their analysis of their custom libraries? It should not be taking this long. It just looks like it's completely stuck. Why does it happen when I'm on the live class? That's the thing that's so frustrating. So let me try one more time and let's go back here. Let's go to, now they've completely disappeared. They are no longer attached. Has anybody experienced any of that? They were attached, now they're just completely gone. Now they're nowhere to be found. They're completely gone from my, all the libraries are just, have completely disappeared. They're not even in my system. That is totally crazy. You gotta just like crack up with this. It can only happen when I'm on the live webinar, like it couldn't happen at any other time. It'll be working perfectly and now like it'll not be working perfectly. So that's so funny. Let's try one more time. So I'm just gonna go to libraries here. Sometimes they will load. So let's see if they do load in again. No, they're just completely, they're totally missing. Let me just go back here, go back here, and let's see. Okay. There's no way I'm going to be able to load them in time. So we may have had to log out, and so that might be why that's happening. All right. Libraries disappear at random times. Used to be, internet has been clicking on and off in our area for weeks. That's really, it's never happened in the Pacific Northwest Portland area. They're really very, very Johnny on the spot of all the internet never goes down. It went down yesterday for a long time, which is like really weird. So we're a little bit past the hour anyway. So I'll just talk for a while. Let me just see if I can load it. We'll just see what we can do. We can just talk for a moment here. Are there any questions about the genius in general? Do you have any questions for me at this time just about the genius? Do you add all the libraries to this new client and only to the land and fire related? I always add all libraries to all clients because otherwise it's just really too confusing. But that isn't, I always like to learn about what comes up in red and blue, but you're right. Just for the purpose of Irene, just for the purpose of doing harmonizing, you're probably right. You could just do a few libraries. We could work on that in just a moment. I don't know. I don't think these are going to be loaded anytime soon. This is probably going to take 15 minutes to download. Denellen says work on mental energies. I'm not really sure what your question is about mental energies. Okay. Where can we buy the blank holographic wristbands? Your sound might not have been on at that time, but you can go to geniusbiofeedback.com and we do have them on the website. They like to interfere with anything we do. I don't know if it is, the interference, or if it's just that, I had to log out to help a customer, to help one of our Genius users, and I may not have been able to restore these in time. Does the Genius create any reports that you can email to your client? It sure does. I didn't see them anywhere. Let's go ahead and see. I'll see if I can find them. Other questions, other Genius questions that you have that I can answer for you, or about this particular process, go ahead and let me know. And we will see if we can find something here for you. Any other questions about the Genius? Or I guess now would be like it's sort of like free for everybody. You can report any major issues that you're finding on your Genius. If you have any major issues that you would like to tell me about on your Genius, I would be happy to entertain those, even though I usually say don't tell me those. I say put them as a bug report. But now, great time. If you want to, go ahead and let me know. And let's see if we can find those wristbands on the website as well. Okay, so let's go here. So there they are, the hologram wristbands. If you're going to order more than, say, 3 at a time, you could send me a message and we can work something out for you to get a little bit of a discount. So just let me know that. And how soon can we buy the remedy plate? A week to receive? No, we usually send those out the day that you order them. So if you order them, we'll send them out right away for you. And we do have a number of different remedy plates at geniusbiofeedback.com. One of the really popular ones has been the triple remedy plate. So there it is, the remedy plate, the triple layer plate, because it has 3 layers really of sacred geometry on there. People really like that one. And it's got these three different layers of sacred geometry, but we usually send that out right away, get that out immediately to you as fast as possible. I did have the same weird tones right after I updated. So was that in the archetype encoding, or that was something else? I did have the same weird tones after I uploaded my version. Let's see if we can take this offline for a second. What is my old quantum imprinter used for? I got it a long time ago. I have not used it. It's just a remedy plate, Kathy. You can totally use it. The tones were weird, just running progressive insights. Okay. Angie says, do you know if my Genius will get rid of a mycobacterium alone without antibiotics? We never recommend that. We're running energies, so we don't know about the extent of what these energies will do, and we don't want to put anybody's health in jeopardy. So if you've been told you need an antibiotic, what I strongly recommend is that you take the antibiotic or whatever it is recommended by your health professional, and at the same time, you could run that energy for the particular pathogen on your Genius, but you can also run emotions. You could also run remedies, natural remedies, and you want to run those all at the same time. Okay. Is the whole process in the learning portal? No, it is not. How would you use that as a remedy plate? The quantum imprinter, the quantum imprinter is a remedy plate. You just connect it through wires to your Genius. If you want to send me a question, Ariel at geniusbiofeedback.com, Kathy, I'd be happy to answer to the best of my ability. But it's just a remedy plate, just like all the other ones. It just connects up to your Genius, and then you hit play to play the frequencies to imprint stuff, and then you import like a library in order to put those digital frequencies from the item into your Genius. So anybody can do that, and it's completely possible to do that. All right, I have a question. I went into a library marked red, but inside it only showed 2 items and they were both green. Why did it show as an out of balance red when the 2 items were in green? That has been an ongoing, like, question. I can't tell you how many times people have asked that. The best answer I've been able to give to people is that it is testing all the frequencies in system overview against each other. So all the items in the system overview are being tested against each other and showing a prioritization. But when you dive deeper into the individual libraries, it's not really taken into account if there are individual libraries and the sub-libraries that might be high or low. So the fact that it's not red or blue doesn't indicate that within the library itself or the panel itself, there might not still be things that you want to focus on or run with. So that really is the answer to that. Well, we're at about 15 minutes past the hour, so let's go ahead and we'll work on this again next week if it seems like that's a good thing to do. And do we have libraries? Why do some libraries have no sub-libraries? Tammy, if you have a library that has no sub-library and it's from us, then go ahead and send me a message and we'll take a look at that. Some libraries are in development, and so they might be in the process of being developed. But we do want to know if you don't see a sub-library, then send me a message and we will take care of that. What waveform should we use for the weather? Well, that's a really interesting question, isn't it? What should we use for the, what ideas do people have about what waveform to use? What ideas do you have about what waveform that you should use for the fires? Let me know in the comments and we can take your ideas for that. So what waveform do you think would be the natural form to use for those fires? I'm going to try to bring this up on my phone to show everybody. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. My system just completely exited out, and so now I have to start the download process again. So I'm going to try to show this on my phone. So that's another thing you could tell the developer, that we can't download libraries and have to start right back from the beginning. That doesn't really work. So that's something that they could really rectify and help us with. We need to just be able to download libraries quickly and then kind of go on with our day. So let's go ahead and look at this on my phone. I just wanted to show, so I put in the wildfires again while we were talking and kind of reviewing, but I did just want to go ahead and let's see. You know what, it seems to be, oh, there we go. That seems to be loading normal time. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, thank you, the Kelowna, BC, clearing the frequencies today. Thank you. Spiritual protection was interesting. Alternating to cover all the bases, that's a good idea. Impatience came up for the top of my fire in the clearing scan as well. Spiritual protection was interesting. Yeah, we didn't get to look at spiritual protection, but that's a good one to run on fires and natural disasters as well. So let's just go ahead here, and what we usually have one, which is wildfire. Wow, it's all in red, right? As it was in blue. So if you look at wildfire harmonizing, there it is right in blue. And so we bring it up here. Bring balance to the land, bring balance to the earth, regenerate the land, protection from fire, peacefulness around the property. Let's see what's down here. Starve the fire of oxygen, cleanse the area safely, forgive us that we created the imbalance, dampen the forest fire, peace with the fire. So let's go ahead, let's actually put all of those into the tray. So those are all added. And we had some other ones. Did we have any other ones for fire? We really can expand that. We should really expand that one or create a new one. And then we have one for hurricane harmonizing. And I feel like we have another one for land, which has to do with fire. So land, harmonizing the land, harmonize the fire elements. This is good to actually add for this one. Healing sacred geometry, animal protection, ho'oponopono, restore to order, reduce harm, protection, stop the destruction. Now you can write your own libraries as well. So these would be concepts that you could also utilize. And then we had one for chemtrails. So which chemtrails are, what are in the chemtrails. So just asking what's in the chemtrails, and then what are things that we can do, harmonizing energies that we can send. You know, you can always use your intention wherever you go. Use your intention that you're always in a place with clear skies. And then there's a detox things that you can do to detox from chemtrails. And then we can just go to progressive insights. Bring balance to the land. Peacefulness around the property, peace with the fire, dampen the forest fire, dissipation of the fire, restore to order, regenerate the land. That's so interesting that it shows that we did a whole bunch of different frequencies, and then the energy of love. This is, again, those I've been listening to the middle tone. I think it's the soliton tone, the sonic tone. That's what used to be called soliton. The sonic tone. I've been listening to that a lot, and it's on my phone as well. And so that's the one that's coming up at this moment. So let's see. Who is the goddess of rain over Hawaii? Who is Pele's sister? Sherry Backlash. I was sending frequencies there too. Spiritual protection is a must. I named my fire clearing Douse the Flames with Love. That's really, really good. Well, I love all of your ideas. But once again, your genius is an amazing tool that you can use in so many different ways for so many different things to heal the land. I really thank you all for participating, and I encourage you throughout the day, maybe do a hurricane balancing for the West Coast, maybe do one for the East Coast, maybe if there are tornadoes somewhere, do a balancing for that. You are making a tremendous difference. We didn't do a before aura, but we can quickly look at the aura that would be shown here as we sort of wind things up for today. So thank you everybody for participating, and thank you for being part of our Genius Biofeedback community. And we'll continue this perhaps next week if there's anything else for us to look at. If you have any ideas, anything you'd like us to focus on, send me a message, Ariel at geniusbiofeedback.com. Let's see what this final ending aura is before we part ways. Wow, isn't that interesting? It's very similar to what the other aura was that was being shown on a completely different device. That is absolutely fascinating. So it just shows you. Now, right here, I don't even see that it has the hide, but I think I haven't updated to the latest version on this phone, so that's why it's not showing it. Well, thank you everybody for participating today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, be well, bye-bye for now.